Welcome to Belgium, and we're here at Spa-Francorchamps for round 13 of the 2018 GP4 OC season for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps, the circuit located not in Spa but in the vicinity of the town of Francorchamps. The shortest lap distance on the calendar at 44 laps, but also the longest circuit on the calendar at 7.004 kilometers. 7 teams have won here over the past 11 seasons, Red Bull winning the most times instead of Ferrari, Mercedes, BMW, Force India amongst the teams that have won here. Previous 3 winners at Spa have included Will Kneller in 2015, Will Kneller in 2016, and of course Joseph Willows, who won last time out at the Hungarian Grand Prix and who won last year at the Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, Willows needed that win at Hungary to keep himself in title contention, and can he win here again to get himself right into title contention? Because at the moment he still has slim hopes, but it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do and who is going to win this time out. Lap record set last year by Will Kneller at 1:43.779. So again, these cars are insanely quick, and I imagine that lap record is probably going to be matched, if not beaten. The tyres we're using will be the Hyper Soft tyres here at Spa, and the driver of the day from last time out in Hungary was Joseph Willows for a great performance to take the win. Of course, it could have been different had Carr and Lopez not had their collision, but you know, could have, would have, should have. But anyway, here is the starting grid for the Belgian Grand Prix, and on the front row it is Joseph Willows, continuing his good form with Florian Volker alongside him in the Mercedes. Only 11,000 separated them in qualifying. On row 2 we have Franco Lopez for Mercedes and Joel Hutter for Red Bull. On row 3 of the grid we have Miklas Gal for Red Bull and Franco Gamba, a great qualifying by him in the Haas, in 6th position. On row 4 of the grid we have Amar Carr for Ferrari and Evan Byrne for Renault in 8th position. On row 5 of the grid, 9th and 10th, we have George Roque for Haas and Felix Sonntag, and a very good performance by him in the Williams, considering how slow the car is in general. Thierry now Tiernan in 11th for Force India and Jay McKenzie 12th for Renault. That is row 6 of the grid. Row 7 is Laura Chong for Toro Rosso and Paolino Tomaselli for Sauber. That is row 7 of the grid. On row 8 of the grid we have Lean Campana, the American for Williams, and Kirosima de Rossa in the McLaren at 16th. Good qualifying again by both Williams, one in Q2, one in Q3. Maxime Titkov in 17th position with Roberto Gamba 18th for McLaren. Unfortunately for McLaren, it's been a pretty bad season by their standards, that's for sure. Etienne Jones in 19th for Manor, and it's Brachke, not been a great season for him either, in 20th position. And on the back row of the grid we have, surprisingly, Roland Boychin in the Force India and Gabriel Gomez for Sauber. And now here we are looking at the OCT news. So George Roque will leave Haas and will join the renamed Racing Point, formerly known as Force India, the team that he used to be at back in the old OC days, and Gabriel Gomez will remain at Sauber when they are rebranded to Alfa Romeo. So 2 bits of teams that are not really that surprising. I think many people could probably see that coming. But the weather for this race, it will be a dry race, 0% chance of rain. So let's get this race underway, shall we? So as we head now onto the grid, Joseph Willows is on pole position, and the big question is he going to get the jump into the first corner? It is going to be the big question, as we now have 5 lights about to come on here for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. The 5 lights are now on, and we're underway. And who's going to get the jump coming into La Source for the first time? As Willows has made a pretty good start. Volker could be jumped by his teammates to head into La Source, but I think Willows, unless Volker's going to go right round the outside, is he? And I think he is. And from out of nowhere, Volker takes the lead. A great start by the German in the Mercedes, and Willows has to slot behind him, but crucially, of course, he'll have the momentum as they come through Rouge onto the back straight, heading towards Les Combes for the first time. And now Willows is going to be right behind and try and take the position back. Hutter's fallen a bit behind. He's about 2nd behind. Now Willows is going to take the lead back from Volker. Well, possibly. It's side by side between the two. Will Willows take the lead back side by side? And the answer is no. Willows stays behind. Volker stays ahead of Willows. Hutter in 3rd. Franco Gamba's made a great start. He's up 2 positions, up into 4th. Lopez has dropped a position, and Felix Sonntag's moved up a couple of places as well. So a few moves as Roque is squeezing down the inside of Carr and makes the move for 9th position there. So a good start there by the Hazard Roque. Good overtake there. I was looking through the rest of the order, and there is damage. Dean Campana and now Tiernan have damage. Something has happened at La Source, and so we're going to be on board with Campana, and let's see what happened to him. So he was coming up to the hairpin, and everything seemed to be okay as he was coming through, and there was the gap. You could see he was, oh dear, if he'd just gone a little bit to the right, there was a big gap that he could have gone on the inside of and overtaken the Force Engine, maybe a couple of other cars, but he chose to run into now Turner there, so that's not going to do him any good. So Volker leads, Willows in second, just hanging behind him. Hutter is way back, but here's the battle for fourth position. Gamba holding off Lopez, and there's a big gaggle of cars behind him. Here's Gal trying to get on the inside of Byrne, coming into the hairpin. Is he going to make it stick? And the answer is no, he stays behind. He's got Sonto behind him and Roke behind him too, so it's going to be slipstream heaven here at Spa. We're now onto the second lap, and look at all those cars behind. So Chung's involved as well. So Mackenzie's into the pits as well. What's happened to Mackenzie? Oh, Mackenzie gets hit by the McLaren there of De Rosa, who himself actually nearly spins coming into the bus stop chicane there. And so it looks like De Rosa runs into the back of Mackenzie, uses him as a brake way too late, and that's what happens. So unfortunate for him, actually, and goes over the wing and loses control. He's lucky actually that he doesn't spin, but he goes into the pits behind Mackenzie. So unfortunately McLaren's dreadful season continues really. Now this is a battle for P4. This is between Franco Gamba, or the two Francos, Franco Gamba and Franco Lopez. Lopez, you can see he's almost pushing Gamba up the straight as they're coming through, and Lopez trying to get on the inside of Franco Gamba. It's side by side between the two. Is Lopez going to make it through, or no? He's actually not side by side. The camera angle does make it through. And look at this, Sontag is going past Gal, and wow, you didn't think you'd see this. Williams passing a Red Bull, and Felix Sontag has overtaken Miklos Gal, and that's not going to be good for Gal at all. And now here's Chung trying to get past Carr in the Ferrari, and can't make it through there. So she's going to have to wait until the next corner. Not this one. It's the fast left-hander, which you can generally take at almost full speed coming through into Pouon. It's an unbelievable corner. And actually, speaking of Pouon, that is Roke making it past Gal. So Gal is really struggling at the start of this race, and I don't know what is happening to Miklos Gal, but he'd been overtaken by Sontag, and now he's been overtaken by Roke as well. So clearly he is struggling at this moment in time. As now we're looking at Willis, who's caught up to the back of Volker. This is the battle for the lead, and Willis is not going to make it through as they come through Blanchimont and coming up to the bus stop chicane. Willis could try and make a move into the chicane, possibly. Is he going to try and go for it? The answer is no. Wait, yes he is. Oh, there's contact. There is contact between the two. Willows has half spun. He nearly spins it, just about keeps it going, but unfortunately that's good news for Volker, who now extends his lead. You can see that was coming, and it was only on lap 2, so imagine what's going to happen with the rest of the race, because Hutter clearly doesn't have the pace compared to these two, and there was the contact, and Willows almost spins. I don't know how he managed to control it, but fair play. And you can see he's just about around and just manages to slow down enough to control the car and stay in front. This is the view from a Volker's point of view. There was the contact there, quite a bit of a hit there, but Willows couldn't make the move stick. Speaking of trying to make the move stick, here's the other Mercedes of Franco Lopez trying to get past his fellow Franco, and is he going to make it through on the inside? Nope, he can't make it stick, and of course Evan Byrne is there as well. Sontag moving ahead of Roke there. I think there's a little bit of contact between the two, but Lopez gets a great run out the bus stop chicane, and is he going to try and make a move coming into La Source? I don't think he's quite close enough, and the answer is no, he isn't. Now is Roke going to try and make a move on the inside of Sontag? The source. Sontag moves over to the right, so I think that's going to stop that happening. And you can see this is actually on board with Maxime Titkov, who was running in 12th position as he moved up to 11th. And does he actually make the move on Chung into the bus of chicane? Wow, he was so far back. That's an unbelievable move from Titkov there. He was so far behind Chung, and I bet Chung wasn't expecting that. And wow, so that's a great move by Maxime Titkov, and now he's only one place off of the points. So here is Volker, who has got about a second and a half lead over Willows behind him. Now here's Gomez, who goes a little bit wide there as he's trying to follow Etienne Jones, and he's all over the back of the Manor. He can't get past him, and he made a slight error. He went a little bit more to the curve than Jones did. You can see coming through here, and there it was, but managed to keep it on the circuit. But we've seen cars go off at that corner before. I mean, Waze Koo had a noticeable run of bad luck, and that is contact, as Franco Lopez has had enough of his fellow Franco, who goes off and then goes into the side of Evan Byrne, and they get away with actually out any damage. There was contact. So does Byrne make it through? I think he's got the run off the corner. I think he'll make the move stick, will he? Yes, and yet Byrne is through. That's a good move, and Sontag's going to go by as well, and I think so is Rogue if he's not careful, and Gamma has been absolutely mugged. He has lost 4 positions in just one corner, and Franco Gamma really got a feel from there. But finally the cork has opened. Now here's Roke, who's trying to get past Felix Sontag in the Williams. Evan Byrne has got a way out ahead of him, so Roke will need to get past if he wants to get up to the back of Evan Byrne. and he's going to try and make a move on Sontag into the chicane. He's going to try and swap to the right. Yes, he does. Sontag moves over. There's nearly contact, but good defending there by Sontag. Now, Titkoff goes into the back. Well, actually, no, I think it wasn't Titkoff going into the back of Chung. Chung was going into the back of him. So, as we look at Roke once again trying to make a move on the inside, you can see, Sontag is really not letting it by easy, and they come through. There's contact. And is that Roke through on the inside now? Yes, and Roke is up into 6th position. And meanwhile, behind, Franco Gamba is trying to hold off the Red Bull of Gal. So the big question is, will he make the move stick? And here we are looking at the move that Roke made on the inside of Sontag, and you can see the contact there, and he ran wide. Fortunately, no damage done, but Roke has now finally got through. Now this is Gal, who's really struggling this race, and he's trying to get past the Haas of Franco Gamba. This is coming down the back straight, but he's just not close enough. He's just not got the power and the speed coming off the corner there, so he's unable to do it. So as we look at Etienne Jones and Gabriel Gomez, they're side by side. Gomez way over to the right there. Unusual line, but I think he might make this move stick, will he? And yes, he has the momentum, and he finally gets past Etienne Jones for 15th position. It was weird coming down the Camel Straight the way that Gomez was on the right there. He was so far across to the right. Don't really see that too often, really, but he made the move stick nonetheless. Finally got past the Manor, and now he'll go after Enis Parachki in front of him. Although he does seem to be struggling a bit with his car, as Roberto Gamba has lost his front wing. So I was saying about McLaren in their terrible season, it yet again continues. So what happened here? So Gamba was coming through El Rouge, goes a little bit wide over the curb, and that was enough to break his wing. You can see that just the curb on the inside there. That was enough to lift the car, just enough, and break the wing. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like McLaren are going to get anything today, and you really got to feel for them. It's just not been their season at all. So he is going to drop down to last, and all the wings come right back onto the circuit there, and luckily none of the other cars hit it. So this was actually Gomez when he went past Jones. This is why he was so far on the right. I didn't actually see originally the damage that he had, Roberto Gamba, but we saw it there clearly on the replay. And so, yeah, that was it as far as we're concerned. Now here's Gal, who still has yet to get past Franco Gamba. Will he do the same thing as Lopez and give him a bump and run into the chicane? Wasn't close enough then. Now here's Roke, who's actually caught up to the back of Evan Byrne, who is actually pitting this lap Roke as Byrne. There's contact, and is Roke through? That was a big bump there by Roke, and he does make it through up into 5th position. He's going to pit anyway, but Byrne will probably not like that. And Byrne is he's not got much more fuel than Roke, so will Byrne try and make it back into El Rouge? He's not going to make it stick here. He's not going to do a Weber. So will Byrne try and make it through on the Campbell Straight? He's just about still in the slipstream of Roke, so he might try and make the move back here. So Byrne in the slipstream. Roke is pitting this lap, and here we go. Byrne is going to try and go on the inside of Roke. Has he got enough power? I don't think so. The corner is coming up, and no, he doesn't. He can't quite make it through there. Now here we are looking at Evan Byrne. Evan Byrne, Miguel Gal, who still, it just doesn't quite have the power to get past the Haas onto the straight there, and it's just, that's what's really hindering them. So at the moment we have one McLaren, of course, who is down in 18th, and the other is last, Roberto Gamba. So of course Roke is pitting, so I would imagine, I think that they're doing the 3-stop. I mean, I'm not sure the 3-stop at Spa is necessarily the right decision, but it's going to be very interesting to see if they do, because there's only 44 laps. There's not that many laps of this race. So as you can see, actually Gal has now finally passed Franco Gamba. It's taken him quite a few laps, but he's finally done it. Was there any contact involved was the big question, and the answer was no. I think Franco Gamba just made a mistake, went a bit too wide and allowed Gal to get through. So this was the move right here, and Gamba just goes wide onto the curb, and you're not really going to be getting much momentum and speed off the corner, and he's lucky. He nearly goes into the side of Gal as he rejoins, but fortunately no damage done. But here comes his teammate Roke, who's now into the pits for his first stop of the race, and I just wonder if this will be a 2 or 3 stop. I would imagine it would be a 2, because there's not really that many laps in this race, but I suppose around Spa, because it's such a long circuit, it's obviously there's power and speed, of course, is important, but of course tyre wear is a huge factor, so you never know what is going to happen.
Just prepare yourself for the first gear.
And so as Roke comes in, changes all 4 tyres, and it's a quick stop actually, 5.3, that's actually pretty quick. So fair play to the Haas mechanics. And where does he come out onto the circuit? He comes out, it looks like, in, I think, clear air. Comes out in 14th position, so that is a good stop there by the Haas team. Comes out crucially ahead of Roland Morgan, so they've brought him out into clear air. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with regards to Byrne, of course, who he is going to be racing. Now here is Armor Car now trying to go past Franco Gamba. And is he going to make a move on the inside? The answer is no, he can't. So he fails. Now we look through as there's Lopez and there's Hutter. We haven't seen much of him. He's been in a very lonely third position. So as we can see on board with Hutter, he's got a gap to Lopez. Although Lopez, I think, actually is closing on him. So I think he better watch his back if he's not careful. Of course, Carr now has finally got past Franco Gamba. It's taken him a while, but he has done it. But Gamba proving a big mobile chicane here at Spa. You can see he does exactly the same thing that Gal does, and I think he goes under the curb. There's nearly a bit of contact, but fortunately none. Now here we are. This is a battle for P3, so Lopez has now finally caught up to the back. I mean, that's how much he lost by being stuck behind Franco Gamba. So now he's on the back of him. There's a car that was coming into the pits on this lap. I believe it's probably either maybe Sontag or Evan Byrne. I think it's Evan Byrne, I believe. And now Hutter defending quite hard from Lopez, and he doesn't want to really let him through. Of course, we know Hutter won't be on the grid for next season, so he wants to really do the best he can. And here we are, and here's Franco Gamba, who actually has lost a position to Laura Chung behind. So, and he makes another mistake, actually just the same thing that Roberto Gamba does, but doesn't get any damage. But you can see the amount of speed he loses, and that allows Chung to go by. So there we go, Chung goes by very easily, says thank you very much, see you later. And now it was Evan Byrne, as I suspected, who's now coming to the pits for his first stop of the race. So I don't know if he'll come ahead of Roke or not. It's going to be arranging to see, of course. Now here's Franco Gamba, who's holding up this big gaggle of cars. Actually, crucially, Roke is actually right behind this gaggle of cars, being held up by his teammate yet again. So this is not what Roke really wanted. So the big question is, will he still come out ahead of Byrne? Or will Byrne have done the overcut? But as we're looking at Franco Gamba, who's defending from Tomaselli in the Sauber behind him. So where is Byrne? Is Byrne going to come out ahead of this gaggle of cars? The answer is no, he doesn't, because you can just see Roke coming through behind Gabriel Gomez, and there is Byrne coming out just ahead of his teammate Jay McKenzie. Now Roke trying to get past all these slower cars, who I imagine not pitting for at least another few laps or so. He's going to get past Gabriel Gomez, or at least try to. He's going to be in the slipstream with him. He can now swap to the inside. Gomez, who himself is actually pitting in a few laps as well. Roke now on the inside of him and coming into Lacombe, and is he through? No, he's not actually. Hasn't got quite enough momentum. Good news for Evan Byrne, that'll allow him to catch up behind, of course. So it's all working in Byrne's favour at this moment in time, as long as Franco Gamba is still there, and he's still got a fair few laps of fuel. And you can see Lopez actually has passed Joel Hutter for third, so it has now happened. Lopez did it on the Kemmel Straight coming into Lacombe. It was a good move there by the Argentinian, pretty easy to be honest. So he does make it through up the inside. Now here we are looking at the Gamba train yet again. Here we are looking at Tomaselli, he's trying to make it through on the inside. He's never going to make it through here, coming through the Blanchemont, just not enough room. And so he's going to have to wait as Felix Sontag gets into the pits as well for his first stop of the race. Now here is Tomaselli trying to make it through into the chicane. He's going to try and make a move on the inside. The answer is no. Meanwhile, Roke's still stuck behind the other Sauber of Gomez. So Sontag comes in, and I imagine he'll come out behind. Well, I don't know actually. He might not necessarily come out behind this gaggle of cars. He could even jump them, Sontag, because he wasn't that far away from Byrne and Roke. But of course, Byrne is now closing up to this gaggle of cars. But of course, Tomaselli is pitting this lap, so that'll be one less car they have to deal with. We have a yellow flag out on the circuit somewhere, and where is it? I don't know where the yellow flag is. Something has happened. I can't quite tell on the map. I think that's coming through. Is that into the bus stop? I think it might be actually. Yeah, it's coming to the bus stop. So here we are looking on board with, I think this is Maxime Titkov. We're trying to make a move on the inside, and oh, there's contact. Oh, and contact by Titkov goes into De Rossa, who goes into Moitian and eliminates him. Oh, and now, well, Titkov has eliminated Moitian indirectly, and now has eliminated De Rossa, so that's two cars out at the bus stop chicane, and Titkov, I would imagine that is going to be a penalty. And now Tiranen has to go into the pits as well, a double whammy for Force India. And now Tiranen, who of course got ran into on the first lap, now hits a piece of wing, probably, I think it might have even been from his teammate. So it really is a terrible day for Force India. Now here is this battle once again. So this is Roke, who has got past Gabriel Gomez. Now he's trying to get past Enis Parajki, who is trying to get past Franco Gamba. All these guys stuck in this train, and Franco Gamba unfortunately proving himself not as useful. He needs to hope that Roke can get past Parajki very soon. And of course he'll let Roke through, I would imagine. So there's a car coming to the pits in the top three. I couldn't quite see who that was, and I think that is Joseph Willows, as here we go. Roke actually might be trying to make a move here, and Roke does now pass his teammate Parajki, and he just about through. Is he going to try and get past his teammate as well? He's in the slipstream. He's going to try and make a move on the inside as Roke, but Gamba actually defends to the right, and so he doesn't make a stick, but Prix got a terrible run coming through El Rouge there, and wow, just made it through very easily. It was just really weird the way that the line that he took, but still, he made it through nonetheless, but he's still going to get past his teammate though, and Maxi Titkov has received a 25-second time penalty for causing the incident with De Rosser and Moitin. Not a surprise, really, because, I mean, yeah, well, not only did he indirectly take Moitin out, he then took De Rosser out as well. So, again, a terrible, terrible day for McLaren. So Joseph Willis is now in for his first stop of the race. He'll be doing, it looks like, the 2-stop. So out of the pits he comes, because he is in a race with Volker. I don't think he was I think Volker was still leading this race, so we'll see if Volker does still come out ahead after his stop. I don't know how much longer Volker is going, but I wonder if Willows, would he come out ahead of Lopez? Lopez had come across the line, this would be important, and Lopez is just going around the hairpin. I think Willows is going to come out ahead, and yet we could just see him going away in the distance there, Willows, so Lopez couldn't unfortunately do his teammate a favour. Here we're looking at Armor Carlo in the 6th. Now here is Roke trying to get past his teammate Gamba. He's right behind him, there's almost pushing him through Blanchimont. He's losing a little bit of momentum, but trying to get the momentum up for the chicane. Try and make a move on the inside. Meanwhile, Byrne actually still stuck behind Parachki and Gomez, and Byrne now passes Gomez, who's going to go to the pits, who goes in front of Sontag there. Unfortunately, no damage is done. And there's McKenzie as well. And now Roke trying once again on the back of Gamba. Is he going to try into the hair, but he's going to swap to the right? No, just not quite enough for the move there. Don't know how much longer Gamba's got on this set of tyres, but it can't be long. But he's really, really struggling. They're obviously doing a different strategy for the two drivers, and it's not really working out for them, to be honest. Now here's Roke almost pushing Gamba through El Rouge, and now he's surely going to try and make a move onto the Kemmel Straight. Now here we go. He's going to surely move out to the right, and here we are. This is Roke on the inside, and meanwhile Byrne is trying to get past Parachki behind Roke. It's just not quite alongside enough, and he can't make a stick. Does Byrne make it through as well? No, he doesn't. And there's Sontag as well, who is watching this with keen eyes as Byrne goes a little bit wide, gets a bad run at the corner. Now here is Roke once again, almost pushing through, and now Sontag trying to make it through on the inside of Byrne. He ain't going to make it stick there. Now Gamba goes wide, but Roke still can't make it through, doesn't get a good run off the corner there. Now as we look through the rest of the order, Mackenzie's going to have to go into the pits. He's pitting this lap. Now here's Byrne going to try and pass Parachki down the front straight. I think he's just about alongside. Has he got enough speed? It's just dying down on him now, and he still can't make it through. And meanwhile, I think Roke still hasn't made it through past Gamba either, so they're being held up quite significantly by his teammate. And oh, there's wheels. What's going on here? And Titkov is out. Maxi Titkov is out of the race, and that is at the pit exit, I think. So I don't know if it's a mechanical failure or not. No, it is an accident. So he had another accident, and it's with the other McLaren. So Titkov causing problems with the McLarens today. So this is what happens. Titkov trying to make a move on the inside of Roberto Gamba, coming into the hairpin. Gamba then moved out to the right a bit, and yeah. It was pretty much all Tikkov's own fault, really. He was never really going to make that move. It was never really on. So he's kind of eliminated himself out of this race. Now here is the battle. This is Parachki, who's right behind Roke, who's pitting this lap. Roke must have got a terrible run coming out of the corner there, because I don't know why he's so slow, and he's dropped off Franco Gamba, which you wouldn't think he would do. But coming out of Stavlo, he had a terrible run. Now here's Byrne going to make a move on the inside of Parachki once again, and he makes it through. And Parachki now pits, so good move there by Byrne. Now this is his chance. He's now right behind Roke, who he's been in a battle with, and Sontag is there as well. So Roke would have been wishing that he would have been ahead of his teammate. I don't know how much longer his teammate's going to be out on the track, but he's really affecting him badly at this moment in time, and not something that he would have wanted. So now Mackenzie and Parachki both in the pits as well. So there, right now Roke is in 9th, Byrne is in 10th. Now here's looking at Florian Volker, I should say, who is just about to come into the pits for his first stop of the race. So the question is, will he come out ahead or behind of Willows? I didn't see what the gap was. So as we're looking at Gabriel Gomez, and Gomez has got a problem. Gomez has got an issue, and unfortunately for Gabriel Gomez, I wonder if he'll be able to make it round the whole way with that problem. But he has got, and it's a brake failure. That's not the kind of failure you want, particularly at a circuit like Spa. But we'll see if he does make it back to the pits or not. I'd be surprised if he did, because he's got pretty much almost the whole lap to do, really. So Volker comes into the pits. No question is, does he come out ahead of Willows or not? Or will Willows have done a undercut on him? So Volker comes out, and the stop was 5.3. It was pretty quick. Willows has come across the line. So Willows, I think, is going to take the lead, and he is. So Willows takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. But of course, crucially for Volker, he is on the fresher tyres, so I would imagine he'll be on Willis's case very quickly indeed. And at the moment, Franco Lopez running on his own in third position. Now here is Roke, who's once again closing up to the back of his teammate Gamma. Then there's Byrne, and then there's Sontag. And as I said, I don't know when. And well, never mind. And I was about to say I don't know when Gamma's pitting, but that doesn't matter now. He is off, and he has crashed. He's done it on his own, Franco Gamma, and those tyres, I think, have just simply given up on him. That wheel, is that on the racing line? No, I think it's actually going off the racing line. But coming through Stavlo there, and Franco Gamba unfortunately makes an unforced error and retires from this race. So that is unfortunate for him. But you got to say, he's, yeah, it was just only making. And somehow, the cars behind as well managed to avoid the debris that came onto the circuit. Look at that, Byrne and Sonta go to the right and just about avoid it. That was good dodging there. Look at that, just goes through. How Byrne managed to miss that wing, I've no idea. So fair play to them. Normally you wouldn't see such a fast reaction, but that is very, very good indeed. So fair play to the Evan Byrne, because that could have been deadly. He could have probably ended his race with the wing damage and the speed. He could have been going into the wall the next corner. So here is Franco Gamba once again. Just look at the wing, look at the speed it comes onto the circuit. And Byrne manages to go to the right and somehow avoid it. I don't know how Sonntag avoided it as well, but finally Rogue is free of his teammate, and actually Franco Gamba was still yet to pit, at least for another 2 laps or so. So I wonder now, will Sonntag try and make a move on the inside of Byrne? Is he close enough onto the Kemmel Straight? I think he might be actually. He's getting the slipstream, so hold on. Will Sonntag try and make a move? Look at the speed he's got. And is he going to make it on the inside? And is Sonntag going to pass Byrne here? What a move this would be. And Sonntag is through. What an unbelievable overtake. And Felix Sonntag, a great performance he's putting in that Williams. And so well done to him. He makes the move past Byrne, and Byrne will be just fuming at the fact of how this has turned out. He'd pitted and he was behind Roke. He thought it would be a great opportunity to overtake him, but unfortunately Sonntag has put paid to that. And there's contact. Oh, and a bit of contact there between all 3 cars coming into the chicane there. Jones, then Campana, then Mackenzie. They all went into each other one after the other, simultaneous. Now here's Campana once again trying to make a move on the inside of Jones into the hairpin. He's really going for it, and he can't make a stick. He has to back off there, otherwise there was contact. He should have done what Tikoff he did what Tikoff didn't do and back off. And Mackenzie now on the inside and made it through. So good move there by the Polo driver, took advantage of that, and Lin Campana lost out big time there. So at the moment Joseph Willers leads this race. He's ahead of Volker, but actually Volker is now right behind him. Here we go. This is set to be the battle for the win here. So both these guys I think are going to be on the 2 stop, and they're well clear of Franco Lopez in 3rd position. So it looks like it's going to be Ferrari versus Mercedes. But can Joseph Willers win yet again at Spa? He won here last season. Can he win here again? Now here's Volker to try and make a move coming down the Kemmel Straight, and he's on the inside. Is this going to be the move for the lead? He's just about alongside. And is Volker going to make it through on the inside? The answer is no, not quite. Willers just about holds on. Goes over the curves a little bit, gets a little bit of a bad run out there. Now Volker might try and make a move on the inside. He's going to go for it. Willers defends. Meanwhile, Joel Hutter for Red Bull was in the pits for his, I believe it is his first stop. And Willers goes a little bit wide there. And that might allow Volker to try and make a move. And here we go. Volker once again right on the back of Willers. He's not going to make it through El Rouge, but he'll have the slipstream and will try and make a move down the Kemmel Straight coming into Lecom. So as they come through, look at the speed and momentum he's got. And as we're looking at Volker on the inside, has he made it stick? And the answer is no, he hasn't. He can't make it through. It's just not enough for Volker to get through on the inside there. It's just not quite got enough momentum. He's got the fresher tyres. He just needs to bide his time, because Willers is going to be struggling, because clearly Volker is the quicker driver, that is for sure. Now into the pits comes Nicolas Gau for his first stop of the race. And there's Laura Chung at the moment running in 6th. There's Roke in 8th. Sonntag has got a gap over to Evan Byrne ahead of him as well. As once again Volker trying it through, and he's so close. He is definitely the quicker driver, Volker. It's Willers lose. Look at this Sauber that's even quicker here, because Willers is so slow coming through Pouon there. You don't see many drivers making moves through Pouon. We've seen a few at the start of this race, but you don't see it that often. Is Volker going to try it again? Because look at how quick he is. He's now on the inside. Is he going to try it through Pouon? The answer is no, he doesn't. And meanwhile, Laura Chong in the Toro Rosso is in the pits for her first stop of the race. I don't know if it will be her only stop, but she comes in anyway. So now Volker all over the back of Willows as they're coming through, Campus coming through into Stavolo. And it's just only a matter of time, I think, until Volker makes it through here, because Willers, he's just not going to hold on. He's actually, I think, got slightly less fuel. No, I think Volker actually does have slightly less fuel than Willers does, but even so, on fresh tyres. He's clearly not got the pace. And so Volker, will he try and make a move coming into the bus stop chicane is the big question. And he's trying to make it through on the inside, but he still can't make it through there. So Willers holds on, he defends as they come through the chicane onto the front straight. We are now at the halfway point of this race. We're now heading on to lap 25, and here we go. And now Volker, he's going to try and make him on the inside. Willers defends to the right, so Volker unable to make it into the La Source hairpin. So now, of course, Volker, as long as he has the speed and keeps in the slipstream, try and make a move down the Camel Straight. So here we go. We are looking at Volker right behind Willows, and as they're coming through on to the Camel Straight, coming through El Rouge, and here we go. Volker, look at how close he is. He's right behind him as they're coming under the Camel Straight, and we've got a car coming to the pits. That's Etienne Jones who's going to be pitting this lap, and he's still got actually a bit of fuel left. So did Jones get damaged? It looks like he did. We're looking at a replay here, and it looks like coming through El Rouge, and yep, goes with the curb and loses a bit of wing, and unfortunately that curb on the inside really screwing a lot of drivers up, and it has screwed him, as you can see. So here we are looking once again at the leaders, and they're coming up to a little bit of traffic. This is, of course, Jones, I should say. They're going through on the inside, so Volker won't be able to make it through Pouon, although he's surely not going to try a move from there, so he's unable to do it. There's Lopez in third, just running on his own, really, with Hutter having pitted as well. Now Volker all over the back of Jos Williams. How long is it going to be until he makes the move, or will he just wait until the stops? But I imagine he would probably want to do it on track, but we'll see. Now here you are looking, this is the battle for P8. This is between Felix Sontag and Laura Chong, who made a pit stop a few laps ago. She's not going to the end actually, she's on the 2 stop, but she's definitely in with a chance of points, that is for sure. Now here you are looking at Volker, and oh, Williams is off, and Williams is out, and Joseph Williams is out of this race. And oh, what a terrible mistake Williams has made. He was holding off Volker, but he couldn't hold off much longer, and he made an uncharacteristic mistake, goes off, and that takes away his chance of winning again at Spa, and that might have eliminated what slim chance he has of a title, because he got himself back into Hungary, just makes a mistake on his own, and unfortunately that is enough to damage the car. And oh dear, you got a feel for Joseph Williams after a great performance at Hungary. He was really struggling to hold off. You could see he was all over the place on the circuit, really struggling to hold on from Volker. It was only a matter of time. And unfortunately for Willows, he's just gifted the race lead to Volker, and what is possibly going to be the race win, because I don't see how Lopez is going to threaten Volker at the moment, because he's quite a way back. But you can see Volker coming through the corner here, and Willows just goes wide and just says thank you very much and takes the lead. So a crucial mistake there by Joseph Willows. He is going to be furious with that come the end of the season, if it does affect his title charge. I'm not going to say he's out of it, because we've still got a lot of races to go, but even so, that is just a terrible error to make, and not one you need to make. So Williams is now out of this race, so that will mean, of course, this is the battle for P5 actually, as Roke is pitting this lap. Carr is right behind him, so Lopez is second, Hutter is now third, Gal is fourth, Roke is fifth, although he is pitting this lap. Carr will take P5 away from him. So Laura Trong, of course, is in 8th. Tomaselli up to 9th now. Frachki in 10th at this moment in time. So Evan Byrne down in 13th position at this moment in time. But of course, I think he's just pitted, so it's probably why. So Lopez is pitting in a few laps, and he will, of course, go to the end. He's not going to threaten his teammate to win this race, but at least he'll get second position, it looks like. And speaking of Byrne, he is battling with his teammate Mackenzie. This is for P11. They're coming through towards the bus stop chicane. And is he going to make it through on the inside? The answer is, oh, he's going to go for it. And although I think probably Mackenzie let him through, and he does make it through. So Roke obviously is into the pits. Sontag is into the pits actually on this same lap as well. And so the big I imagine Roke's still going to come out ahead. So we're looking at Etienne Jones right now running in 18th, and what is well, it will be 17th I think actually once he goes past Willows. So Roke now drops down into 8th position after that stop. So he comes ahead of Ennis Pratt, crucially ahead of Evan Byrne, of course. So he's going to be out behind Tomaselli in the Sauber, and he actually is not going to the end. I thought he would, Roke, but he is not going to go to the end. So that is interesting there from Haas. So it is going to be the 3 stop for them, so they think that is going to be the better strategy, but who knows, as now Roke's going to try and make it through on the inside of Tomaselli, who's not making it easy, although Tomaselli's gone wide. Is Roke going to make it through? There's nearly contact. Tomaselli goes wide, and Roke is through, so that was very quick. Roke needs to get that move done very quickly, so he is now past the Sauber there of Tomaselli, and he's got Laura Chong ahead of him. And I think Laura Chong actually I just realised, of course, she's pitting in a few laps' time, so technically I think she's actually in a battle with Roke, because Roke's got to pit again, so technically Chung is actually racing Roke for position, so out of nowhere, Roke might have to do a little bit more overtaking. She'll close up on Chung, who's pitting, obviously, a few laps earlier than what Roke will be, but they will be in a race, so Roke will need to get his skates on and try and go up to the back of Chung, who we've seen had a quiet race, of course. We mainly know her from when she got overtaken by Titkoff earlier on, but fair play to her. She's put in a great performance so far. Now here is Campana, who is going past Gabriel Gomez coming into P1. I was saying about there's not many overtakes there. There's one right there for you, but Williams going past the Sauber there. And now we're looking through. There's Byrne in 10th, there's Prechki in 9th, who's going to be pitting once more. Roku is in 7th at the moment. It looks like this is where the order is going to be, the top 5 at least. Although actually I don't know how. I think Carl obviously is pitting once more before the end as well. As we look at the rest of the order, top 10 at the moment, there's going to be a few changes. I think the top 3 are going to stay the same, possibly top 4, but the rest of the order, still a lot to happen. We've still got 14 laps to go of this race. I say 14, it's actually 16. My maths, well now it's actually 15 laps to go. Channeling my inner Crofty there. So we're looking at Lean Campana, who's now passing Turvi now Tiernan into La Source. He's on the inside, and this should be a move, and he's through. So a good overtake there by the American. Now here we are looking at the other Williams, and there's Byrne as well. Mackenzie behind 2. So Lopez on his own out front. The gap is, what's the gap? 13 seconds. Hutter's 21 behind. So Lopez has just about got a pit stop ahead of Hutter. And speaking of Volker, into the pits he comes. This is going to be his last stop of the race, and it's looking pretty comfortable for him at the moment. And well, now with Willows out of the way, it should be a relatively easy run to the finish. But again, this is the OC. You never know what is going to happen. So as we look at Volker coming in, so come up behind Lopez, and Hutter I think has actually pitted as well. He's 39 seconds behind now, so Volker actually I think will come out in P2. Lopez will of course temporarily take the lead, but it won't be for long, because of course Volker, and actually yeah, it won't be for long, that's for sure, because Lopez actually is going to come into the pits at the end of this lap. So Lopez will be has led I think for a lap, but he'll now have to relinquish that as he goes into the pits, and Volker comes out in a comfortable second. Now here is Sonntag, who's closing up to the back of Evan Byrne. This battle has been going on throughout the whole race. They've got Enis Parachki in front of them as well. So Parachki having a good job. And oh, I think Parachki's made a mistake, because Byrne is going past him. And I think he's made another mistake, Parachki. And now Sonntag is going to go past him as well. And Sonntag is on the inside, although has he got the speed? No, I think, look at that. Parachki using the slipstream off the Renault ahead of him to keep ahead there. But Parachki made another mistake coming through El Rouge there, and had to give up the positions. That's not what he would have wanted to do at all. And I wonder if Parachki will try and make the move back, as Byrne goes a little bit wide, takes a bit of a higher line, but unable to make the move back. Will he try and make it into P1? He's going to have the momentum, he's going to have the 16. Will he try and make a move on the inside? The answer is no, he doesn't. He's going to follow him through, but of course he's now going to be careful because Sonntag is there as well. A good battle for the lower reach to the top 10. Here we're looking at Joel Hutter, who right now is running on his own, as Byrne goes a little bit wide yet again, and Parachki is still all over the back of him, and Sonntag is there as well. So this is a good battle here, as the marshal there still wavy is yellow, even though there is no yellow out there. I just saw, I think Laura Chung is in the pits for her final stop of the race. So as we're looking now at this battle, and Sonntag stuck behind Parachki, although hang on, he's going to go round the outside. What a move by Felix Sonntag. He sneaks through past Parachki and moves up into ninth position, and now he's going to try and get past Evan Byrne, and he's not able to do it coming to the Boston chicane. But wow, finessing it, channeling I should say his inner Max Verstappen. Look at that, goes around the outside of Parachki, really catches him off guard. He has been well and truly mugged there, and that was an unbelievable overtake by Felix Sonntag, probably one of the overtakes of the season. You don't see overtakes around the outside there ever. I don't think I remember that ever happening in the OC at this track. I really can't remember. I don't think it has ever happened. That is new to me. Meanwhile, Joel Hutter is going to be pitting for the final time, and he is set to take third position as long as things go his way. Of course, Gal, who is going to be pitting once more, but he's not pitting yet. So as we look at the Swiss driver, who of course, as we know, is not going to be going on the OC grid, I think it's best to go out in a way on a high end. Oh, Mackenzie's out, and the wheel is coming across. Oh no! And incredibly, Franco Lopez, I thought that was Volker, but Lopez has hit the debris from Mackenzie's car and has eliminated himself from the race. And, well, I say eliminated himself, Mackenzie has eliminated him, but incredibly, it's not going to be a Mercedes 1-2. And it was going to be so comfortable for them, and that's going to hand P2 to Hutter. Unbelievable scenes. And Mackenzie's car still rolling down, and speaking of rolling, the wheels there, and it's kind of rolling. Oh no, it's gone now. But incredibly, so Hutter is pitted, and so is actually Carr. So that will mean that Gal will take second temporarily, but that means once everyone's pitted, Hutter will take second, Gal will take third, and I just can't believe what has happened. Unbelievable scenes here at Spa. I thought it was going to be a comfortable 1-2 for Mercedes, and that, of course, is crucial for the championship. That's great news for Volker, and also great news for Carr as well. But wow, just out of nowhere, you could just see the wheel coming. I thought for a second then that was Volker that was coming down the straight. I was like, oh no, it's Volker, but actually it was Lopez. It's still not good for either car, so that is really going to spice up the standings, that is for sure. So as we're looking at Mackenzie, whose car has finally stopped, coming to El Rouge. Obviously it's going to be an uphill, so the car wouldn't be able to go up at the speeds it is. So Miguel Gao is pitting this lap. George Roque is going to be pitting this lap as well for Haas. But so it looks like Mackenzie had a problem, and he just come out of the pits after his final stop. So wow, that is again, it's quite unusual. You don't see this happening that often. But Mackenzie, as he was coming out of the pits, and pretty much almost just as he comes to the pit exit, he has the problem. And yet, as soon as he came out the pits, the problem occurred. So the team just didn't tell him, obviously. And then Mackenzie, attempted to go into the other pits, but of course he couldn't do that. And then Lopez, while he was trying to lap the McLaren at just precisely the worst time possible, as he was trying to lap the McLaren there of Roberto Gamba, and unfortunately, yeah, that's really unfortunate of him. You really got to feel for Lopez there. It was going to be a comfortable second place, and now he's going to be getting absolutely nothing. And Miguel Escal is set to come into the pits for his final stop of the race, and he is going to take, it looks like, third position. It didn't look like he was going to come anywhere near the podium. Gal, I guess you could say this probably is going to be considered a lucky podium. That's for sure, because he's not really, as I said, he struggled at the start of the race. He couldn't get past Frank Gamba, and I guess pace-wise he's managed to get there, but still, it's definitely, I suppose, the definition of what you could call a lucky podium. That is for sure. So Gal now comes out of the pits. He'll drop down into third position. Roque is obviously coming to the pits this lap as well. So Gal comes out in what will be a very comfortable third. Carr is going to be there in fourth, so it looks like my car is going to take fourth position. I think he'd prefer if he would take third, because he'd close up a little bit more at the top. But yeah, you just think it would be a little bit better. But anyway, into the pits comes Roque, who's had a pretty solid race. Probably a little bit frustrated that he got held up behind Gamma for as long as he did. The three stoppers, it's definitely worked for him, I'd say. He's set to come out, it looks like, in sixth position, and does a 6.6 second stop. Into the pits comes actually Sontag and Evan Byrne as well, actually. They both come in. So actually, Laura Chung is in fifth position. So Laura Chung, that's quite an incredible performance. It didn't look like she was going to be that high this race, but her pace was quite something, and it looks like, because she pitted before Roque, she is going to take a very creditable P5, and I don't think Roque will be able to catch up to her, because he was quite far behind coming out of the pits, so it might be close to the end, but fair play to Laura Chung, a great performance. And Evan Byrne does crucially come out ahead in the pit stop battle of Felix Sontag, crucially. They drop down into 9th and 10th. You've got to feel for them. They probably would have wished they were a little bit higher up in the order than they are. But at least they're both going to still be in the points. They come up crucially ahead of the Sauber there, of Gabriel Gomez and now Turin. So that's important for them. They can put the pedal to the metal of the rest, although Gomez actually is pitting once more. So now Turin will take 11th. So Parechki at the moment in 8th. Tomaselli in 7th. So, and there's Roque actually in 6th. And there's Chung. What a performance by her in 5th. I mean, she just came out of absolutely nowhere, it seemed. But a great performance by her, and she is going to take P5, it looks like, unless Roque can close up at the end. I'm not sure. I think it will be a tough ask for Roque. I'm not sure. It's 13 seconds? I don't think so. I don't think so, as Campana goes past Roberto Gamba in the McLaren there. That was for 13th position. As now we look at this battle, this is for P7. This is Parechki on the back of Tomaselli. He's going to try and make it through into El Rouge. It's not really going to work. That's going to allow Byrne to catch up behind, and Parechki makes yet another mistake coming through El Rouge. That's going to allow Byrne to get through round the outside. Is he going to make it stick? And the answer is yes, and I think Santos to get through as well. and Parachki down to 10th, and yet another error, although he's going to try and go back around the outside of Sontag, and that's not going to work. So again, just an unnecessary mistake there from Parachki, and that's cost him 2 positions when trying to battle with Tomaselli, so he'll be pretty frustrated at that is for sure. And Tomaselli is really struggling to hold off from Byrne here, and Sontag's going to try and make it through as well, I think. But as I said, Parachki will be frustrated the fact that his teammate is outperforming him, and Byrne goes a little bit wide there. He makes a mistake as he tries to overtake Tomaselli. That's going to allow Sontag to try and make a move. And Parachki's still there as well, so still this is going to be a great battle for 7th towards the end of this race. But the question is, who is going to finish in the lower end of the points? Who is going to finish where is the big question. So as we're looking at Sontag right behind Byrne, here is Byrne right behind Tomaselli. Is Sontag going to try and make the Verstappen move here? It's all lining up to happen, and is he going to do it again? Oh, he was trying it, he really was. You could see he was looking for it. It didn't quite happen there, but still, as I said, it was still an unbelievable move that Sontag did. I've never seen it before here at Spa. I don't think it's ever happened at the OC before either, but this battle for 7th place is going to go, I think, all the way to the flag. Byrne is going to try and make a move on the inside of Tomaselli into the source. He's going to move to the inside. Is he going to make it stick? The answer is, I think he is, and Byrne does make it through, and he moves up into 7th position. Tomaselli didn't get a great run off the corner, but Sontag unable to make it through. Look at that, all the drivers in the top 10 have actually moved up positions. Now here is Sontag going to try and get past Tomaselli in the Sauber. Is he going to try and make it through the inside? Nope, he's not going to make it through there. And so the question is, will he make it through coming into the bus stop chicane? And is he going to try and make it on the inside? Tomaselli goes to the right, and Sontag makes a move on the inside, and does he make it through? And yes, he does. Sontag makes the move up into 8th position. It's been a great race by Felix Sontag. Probably a little bit frustrated he couldn't finish higher, but I think 8th place will be still relatively happy with, and that will be good points for Williams as well, and of course good for Sontag's seat chances for next season as well. Great move there. Now Tomaselli is going to be under pressure from Parachki behind him as well, so let's see if he's able to make a move for the end of this race. As we're now on to the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix, and here is your race leader, Florian Volker. Had been in a battle with Willows in this race. Those two cleared everyone else at the start. Hutter just didn't have the pace to keep up with him. And look at the just look at that, 58 seconds. I didn't realise it was that big. It's quite incredible, really. But so Volker has totally dominated this ever since Willows went out. It's been a one-man show, really. But of course, I mean, you could say it could have been a bit different, but I think Volker, had Willows stayed in this race, I think Volker would have come out on top, because Willows was really struggling anyway, and I think he just had the pace, Volker, so I think he probably would have won this race anyway, but Willows made it pretty easy for him with his error. This will do good, of course, for the title chances for Volker once again. It'll be good news, of course, for Carr as well in the title chance, but of course it could have been so much different. It could have been better for Mercedes as well had Lopez not made his well, I say not made his mistake. He'll look for Mackenzie after this race, of course, who had that mechanical failure. As soon as he came out of the pits, the wheel was there, and as he lapped it, and as he tried to lap Roberto Gamba, ran into it. So you really got to feel for Lopez. It could have been such a better day for Mercedes, but at least for Volker, it'll be a great day for him as he comes through Blanchimont for the 44th and final time. It's been a great performance by Volker. Definitely deserved, I think, the win today as he comes through the bus stop for the final time. Comes through the right, now through the left, and coming onto the front straight. And as he comes through off the exit of the bus stop, there is the checkered flag. And Florian Volker wins in Belgium. He wins at Spa once again. Congratulations to him. So great performance by him. Here comes Evan Byrne, who will finish in 7th position. He'll probably be frustrated at the fact he's finished 7th. It's still a good points finish, but it definitely could have been better. He definitely could have been maybe up with Roke a little bit more, and maybe even Chung as well. But he'll still take 7th place. I think he'll still be relatively happy with that. So as he comes now through the bus stop, and he will take 7th across the line, and behind him, just behind him, is Felix Sontag. Comes across the line in 8th. And behind them, Tomaselli does hold off Parachki just for 9th position, so Parachki 10th. Now Turin comes across the line 11th, he just misses out on points. Gabriel Gomez comes across the line in 12th. Lean Campana across the line 13th for Williams. Now here is Joel Hutter, who will come across the line in 2nd position. And he was set to get 3rd, he was going to be way behind the two Mercedes, never had the pace to keep up with them. But thanks to Lopez's crash, he will take 2nd. Joel Hutter will be very happy with that. I think he come across the line and he will take 2nd position. So good result there by Joel Hutter. Roberto Gamba 14th for McLaren. Not been McLaren's day at all. Miguel Ascal set to come across the line in third. A definitely very lucky third. Had been nowhere this race and he somehow managed to get third out of it. Armar Carr, not a great race for him either, but he'll take fourth position. And of course it'd be good for him in the championship with both Mercedes out, or I say both Mercedes out, Lopez out I should say. But what a performance by Laura Chung as well. Fifth position in the Toro Rosso, no one expected that. And she comes across the line very well deserved in fifth, and there actually was Roke behind, so he did catch up quite a bit actually, but needed probably a couple more laps and he might have taken Chung for fifth. But Florian Volker wins this race, so we'll now take a look at the full race results, with Florian Volker winning ahead of Joel Hutter by over a minute. Miguel Ascal in third, Armar Carr fourth, Laura Chung fifth, George Roke in sixth, and the last car on the lead lap, Evan Byrne, Felix Sontag, Palin Tomaselli, and Lenis Parachki, the drivers who finished a lap down, with Tuvi now in 11th. The fastest lap being set by Franco Lopez, actually, a 1:43.853. Here's the rest of the order as well. Gabriel Gomez 12th, Lincoln Harner 13th, Roberto Gamba 14th, Etienne Jones 50th. The following drivers not finishing this race: Franco Lopez, Jamie McKenzie, Joseph Willis, Franco Gamba, Maxi Tikov, Kirosa Medorosa, and Rola Moitian. So now we will take a look at the drivers and constructor standings after what was a very interesting Belgian Grand Prix, and Armar Carr now takes the lead ahead of I should say, of the championship, and Lopez, had he finished in second, would have kept the lead, but Volker of course moves up to second and just 2 points behind Carr as well. Willows, he would have caught up a lot had he finished. Joel Hudson 5th, Miguel Ascal 6th, Laura Chung moving up to 11th, Evan Byrne moving up to 9th. Quite a lot of movements in the top half. Palin and Tomaselli in 12th. Now Chen and Meremochin losing positions. Look at the rest of the order. There's De Rosa, Gomez, Sontag, Gamba, Parachki, Campana, Jones and Titkov. So quite a lot of movement in the top 10 of the driver standings. And we're now going to take a look at the constructor standings for Spa. So Mercedes obviously still leading ahead of Ferrari, but extending the gap a little bit more. Red Bull over 100 points behind in third. Haas extending the lead over Renault in fourth. An amazing season for them. Force India in sixth, Sauber in seventh, Toro Rosso 8th, McLaren 9th, Williams in 10th, and Manor, the bottom team, in 11th. So there we go. That was the Belgian Grand Prix. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Don't forget to vote for your driver of the day and give the race a rating out of 10. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you for the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you there.